Were you as surprised as I was to see Kershaw start Game 2 after all the work he got in against the Nats?
I was kind of surprised. A lot of things in the National Series. When he sent them back out for the 7th, I mean, literally, the guy had to pitch himself into shape to be able to pitch in the postseason. Then he starts again, and then pitches in relief, and then starts against the Cubs. I think it's ironic that it's the relief outing by Kershaw that has really changed how a lot of people feel about him. I'm really happy for him. He's one of the greatest pitchers of his generation, of any generation, and I'm glad people are thinking about him the way everyone has always thought about him. He's a clutch guy.
Let's dive into that a little bit more. Why do you think his relief outing has changed people's viewpoints?
Because I think what happens in today's game, where we tend to believe we're babying most of our starters, I think when a person agrees to go out there, and I saw it in '88 with Oral Hershiser, who did it against the Mets in that '88 series, you just feel like, I don't know, as a fan, you're saying, boy, these guys make a lot of money, they're babied, they're not pitched past a certain point. And this is a guy who says, I don't care how I feel, I don't care how my arm strength is, I don't care about anything. The team is more important than the individual. And I think that's what people change their mind.
Does that permeate in the clubhouse too?
Oh, absolutely. The street cred you get when you do something like that. I mean, he had it in spades anyways because he's such a great player. But, when we think about Madison Bumgarner, we think about his starts, but boy, do we really think about that 5-inning relief stint in Game 7, and we always will.
The thing that stood out for me, I'm with Ron Darling of TBS, the thing that stood out for me in that sequence, Ron, with Kershaw, was the guy who caught him, was the guy who they traded A.J. Ellis, his so-called personal catcher, away for, in Carlos Ruiz. And when that trade went down, everybody thought, well, here are the Dodgers messing with Kershaw's mind, and that's the last guy you should do that to and with, and yet here they are embracing each other on the mound after maybe their biggest postseason win since that '88 series year. That was remarkable.
I'm sure the only one who felt really bad about that was A.J. Ellis sitting at home, probably having to watch that. I thought it was interesting. One, that he had to face Murphy, and Murphy missed a pretty good pitch to hit. And then, of course, you got the youngster Defoe. But, Clayton's so good. I mean, he could pitch to a high school catcher and be successful in the major leagues. He's just that good. And I was happy for Chooch because it's been kind of a rocky last couple of years in Philadelphia.
Talking about Carlos Ruiz, obviously I'm on the phone with Ron Darling, and before we get to the ALCS, let's put a button on this. What do you think happens now that the series is tied at 1 moving to Los Angeles?
Well, I think, L.A. is going to have to come up with some, a little better starting pitching. Jansen, even though he went 2 innings last night, you're not going to be able to cart him out there all the time for 2 innings, maybe like they're doing with Miller in the Cleveland-Toronto series. So they're going to have to get some better starting pitching because, the starting pitching for the Cubs is so strong. But it'll be interesting to see the Cub fans have to sweat a little bit. I mean, it seems like the series I'm doing is for the team to have the right to play the Cubs. Dodgers might have something to say about that.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.